A summer of misery as the Cubs drop another one.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply with our great partners at Game Time. Cubs entered the bottom of the seventh, up 2-0 on Thursday, and lost 3-2 to the Rays. And here are the totals for the Northsiders this year. They have lost 8 of their last 9 series. They're now 33 and 36 on the season, 16 and 27 since April 27th. And here is perhaps really the big one. 15 of their 36 losses this season have been blown leads. Sam, another clunker in this 2024 campaign.
Yeah. Let's pick angles at this point, right? Like it's the same couple angles. You take the offensive angle. I'll take the bullpen margin angle for tonight.
Sure. You want me to start? Or?
No, I'll start.
Okay. I got a lot in me right now.
There's no wrong perspective to take. Obviously, the Cubs had 3 hits this evening. But for me,
right.
I just, and maybe it's a personal thing for me because I do hold this position. This is important to me to try and get things right and to try and be fair to people. Okay. And so I really lean towards, I thought we were getting the guy that was going to win these type of games. And I understand all of it, right? First of all, the offense wasn't good enough. Tonight, I did not expect a big offensive night. I know Bradley's ERA was inflated, but if you really dig deep, it was one bad start. He's against very good competition. He's a pretty good pitcher with pretty nasty stuff. I thought if the Cubs were going to win, it was probably going to be a tight one, a low-scoring one. It was shaping up to be that. And I understand that Craig Counsell doesn't have any good options in the pen. I thought, and this is where I was wrong, I just thought he was going to figure some stuff out and get the best out of these guys. And everybody in this uniform continues to regress this season. And the 7th inning was odd to me. So originally I had texted you right around maybe after the first batter that it was curious to me that Leiter Jr. was used because he is the, quote, lefty for the Cubs to get lefties, and it was all righties. Now, I did think a little bit deeper, and this is going to be a little bit much, but I think in these type of games, you have to dig this deep because they're so tight and these decisions are so crucial. I think I understand what he was going for in that spot over Miller or Wisniewski because I think he knew towards the bottom of the order, the Rays were going to pinch hit some lefties because they had they only had one lefty in their lineup, Brandon Lau, later on. So I guess I understand that. But what really just befuddled me is you could tell, and to be fair to Leiter, it was an error at third. They gave it to Wisdom. I thought Bellinger should have picked the ball. That changed the whole inning. Some soft singles and whatnot. But you could just tell he didn't have his splitter tonight. And when he doesn't have his splitter, he's not effective. And I'll go as far as to say I was shocked that they left him in with Tyson Miller warming up to face the Rays, in my opinion, best pure hitter, Yandy Diaz. I would have loved to see Tyson Miller right on right. That's what Miller's there for, to retire righties. And if he didn't like the matchup with Diaz, the game's on the line. Just put on Diaz and then go after Rosarena if you like that matchup. I thought that was really, really weird and poorly managed, if I'm being honest. And I just thought, and it's not that I'm blaming Counsell. This team has so many holes. It's just last year, if you watched our show, I really believed a new manager was going to change a lot. And you could argue and say, well, if the players were playing the same way they did last year, maybe he would. And that's fair. But these were the type of games, Matt, I just thought that Council was here to win. And we've now played 20, I think, what are we, 12 and 15 or 13 and 15 in one-run games. So no major improvement there. And, the bunting stuff in the middle of the game was great because they weren't seeing Bradley. And I know the offense was awful. But I just thought these were the type of games this team would win more of this year, and it just hasn't happened consistently.
Yeah, I have to say, and I appreciate the thoughtful approach there and even kind of playing the next inning or that lower part of the order and going back around what the Rays and Kevin Cash might do. But I was an advocate in an exchange with you, the same one you're referencing, that Tyson Miller should maybe even throw all 6 outs.
Yeah.
Or rather, 7th and 8th there.
Yeah.
I know he wasn't going to finish the game with 3 innings left, but I did think it was befuddling to me that with 3 righties in a row, given just the rules that you have to have a 3-batter minimum, that he would have led off the inning. You could always go Miller to Leiter if you want to.
Sure.
It did all start with that grounder to Wisdom. That guy gets all the way to second, Rosario. So man on second, no outs, and you got 3 at-bats to play.
And Siri homered against him last year at Wrigley, sees him well.
Yeah, I mean, 2 to tie, 3 to win. They're in a good position there. And they went walk, strikeout, single, grounder, single to take a 3-2 lead. But it's even just beyond the box score because they stole a base that didn't even respond with a throw.
Illicit was the word you were looking for.
I thought I was going to say illicit, but
I know you
I didn't want to scare anybody.
I know you were.
I got some news for you.
I hate everything. I hate it.
You combine this with the only 3 hits and 3 walks that the Cubs recorded. And why play small ball earlier in the game? Well, because the first 4 innings and the last 42 games have produced nothing. And they were struggling against Taj Bradley, swinging and missing a lot, striking out a lot. So that's what they did. Okay. And in the moment, I thought that was good.
It was.
But I got news for you. This team is going nowhere. As currently constructed, this team is going nowhere. And maybe that's the problem. Is it really the 26-man roster construction? Because Leiter, despite the fact that maybe he shouldn't have been in, he is the best reliever and the best reliever by a lot.
Yeah.
He couldn't step up tonight. The core 6, they don't live up to that billing if they wanted to.
No, I don't know why. Why do we have to bill them that?
Your 2 of the core guys didn't even play in this game.
They're more like
they didn't start,
core power yoga.
This team is going nowhere. They're a disgrace. It's a summer of misery on the north side. Another blown lead?
Yeah.
It's the same crap every single game.
Yeah. No.
Jed Hoyer 2 years ago said, we got to blow teams out. Fam, you haven't blown a team out in a month.
No, they haven't blown a team out.
May 15th was the last time you won comfortably.
I was going to say the War of 1812.
You wiped out a great lead to the season. You're now 17-9 to 33-36. You've basically made the manager irrelevant. And by the way, I don't want to be this guy, but guess what? I'm going to choose to do it right now. His body language in the dugout is terrible. Why? Because the Cubs are terrible. They look sad in the dugout. They look shocked. It's just it's bad all around.
Yeah, a lot of really good stuff there.
That's the show.
You. No, a lot of really good stuff there from you. I will talk about this team's going nowhere portion of this in the second segment when we preview the next series, because despite what happened in Tampa, I've been waiting about a week for this preview.
Right, for the 9 games, right?
Yeah, right. As far as the best reliever thing, I would just push back. I think Tyson Miller's looked significantly better lately, but I hear what you're saying. I think Leiter Jr. being your best reliever is a problem in its own right. It's just it seems like it's so hard to win, right? The offense, that's why for my giveaway today, I did another giveaway, by the way, tried to spark it. And I wanted to win by 4 runs or more, because it's just the offense didn't score 5 runs one time on the road trip. Not once. Not once. And they faced one really good pitcher, Nick Lodolo. They had 4 runs the whole game in Cincinnati on Sunday.
Right.
They finally get a huge swing of the bat from Bellinger, and they go around the bases like they're in a simulation. Right. There's nothing. You think, all right, let's go. And Vegas, FanDuel knew the Cubs were going to get beat tonight, and
yes, they did.
It's just I don't know. I it's the same thing. I don't know what else to say. And
we're seeing the lack of a big bat play out in reality.
And then it finally looked like, hey, little small ball, not your day, so you make an adjustment. Hey, Horner made a nice defensive play. Bush saved the run.
They were both great at their spots.
And shout out, by the way, to Michael Bush, who's had like his 3rd or 4th ridiculously good 9th inning plate appearance to draw a walk in like the last month. And you're like, all right. And then the defense comes back to bite you. Bellinger should have. I'm not gonna listen. There's nobody that really doesn't like to defend Patrick Wisdom that much more than me. That he did his job there. That ball should have been picked at first base. Okay. And then that little base hit by Josh Lowe, that runner should get to third base there. Then you give up a free stolen base. And then what happens in the top of the 9th? Nico Horner, if that ball gets through, you got runners on the corners, 1 out, and their guy makes a heck of a play. Right. That's the difference in a 1-run game. And I just thought we were going to be better. And it was even when they were winning, it was such a boring contest once again.
It was a quick contest.
And now we have to go and build our whole weekend of going to the bleachers on Saturday to watch this team. And I have just, again,
I have a lack of interest in this now.
Maybe we're in the moment because we have a show. But when you go back to September of last season and you go all the way to now, I can't remember a stretch with these many ridiculous losses. And Jed Hoyer said himself, the last 6 weeks has been as frustrating as he's ever seen it. How do you think September felt? And then since he said that, they've lost 2 of the worst ones of the year. They could have swept the series. One more base hit and a reliever that didn't absolutely stink, and we could have been having the brooms out, getting ready to go to St. Louis.
And the cruel thing is that even the 17-9 start, how many blown leads did they have? 3?
Exactly. The 17-9 start wasn't even enjoyable. That's the point.
It really wasn't.
And now we land at 2 a.m. and play at 1:20.
No, they're gonna. And FanDuel thinks they're gonna lose Friday.
And they probably will.
It's even money.
Yeah. Well, that might be I think most people probably bet St. Louis. So that
might be a blowout.
No.
For the Cardinals. So we're going to preview that series, I guess, coming up next.
I forgot what ad I'm reading.
The Tax Network USA, our brand new partner here on the program, they debuted this week here on Locked On Cubs. We pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experiences and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. tnusa.com/lockedon for Tax Network USA, and see the link in this episode description. The Cubs play the Cardinals at 1:20 p.m. Central Friday, and you can hear every pitch of the Cubs hometown broadcast on Sirius XM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. Friday and Saturday will be at 1:20. Sam and I, as part of Nick Cozy's bachelor party, will be there on Saturday. If you are going to be in the area, especially at the game, give us a shout, and we'll be on the lookout for our listeners as well. Sunday's game is at noon, 12:05 p.m. Central to be exact, because that's exclusively on Roku. A couple weeks in a row now since Roku signed their MLB, their exclusive deal with Major League Baseball to air games on their network. That game is free, but it's a little bit earlier, 12:05 Central, exclusively on Roku. Wicks and Gibson Friday, Imanaga and Palante Saturday, Tyone and Michaelis Sunday. The Cardinals are 13-8. 13-8 since May 20th, and Friday begins a 9-game homestand against the Cardinals, Giants, and Mets. Sam?
Yeah, all right. This is it. This is it.
This is the last stand?
This is it for me. This is the 9-game stretch. I need to see 6 of the 9 at least. I need to see spark. I need to see. This is it for me. You said that this team's going nowhere. I'm going to match that sentiment after this 9-game set if I don't see real progress. And this is it. This is it for me. You have a really good situation, by the way. I know you don't feel strongly about them tomorrow, and I don't blame you. Who could? The Cardinals are not a good team against left-handed pitching. And you have Wicks and Imanaga going back-to-back Friday and Saturday. And a very mediocre pitcher going on Saturday, to be polite, in Palante. If you could find a way to win the game on Friday, you will have a really good chance to win on Saturday. And then maybe in front of nobody with this whole Roku situation on Sunday, you could complete a sweep. This is exactly how I felt last year when it was earlier in June when they welcomed the Pirates. I'm not going to say it's a must sweep, but this is a must. They have to win every series. With the way it's gone, with the way it's gone this year, they'll probably find a way to go 5-4 by the skin of their teeth to try and keep your hopes in there. I need to see a major, and not just 6-3, 7-2. I need to see some flexing. I need to see some 8, 9, 10 run outbursts. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend, I believe, on the lakefront.
Oh yeah, very nice.
This is it. If you can't. Remember, they lost 2 games Memorial Day weekend in St. Louis that were both absurd to aid that 13-8 stretch for the Cardinals. If they can't go out there, if they lose this series at home, forget it for me. I get it. They land late. You get paid a lot of money. Take a 5-hour energy and figure out a way to be ready Friday. And then don't go out Friday night. Go to sleep early and be ready to go.
And Saturday night.
And then be ready to go for Saturday. And, hopefully Wicks throws the ball well. I won't catch any of this game. I'll be en route to Wrigleyville.
Maybe that's better.
Yeah, so hopefully they could win.
You can listen to the radio call.
This is Sam Olber and Matt Cozy's last stand. If this series and this homestand goes poorly, the show's going to get real goofy.
Yes, it will, and I don't want to think about that just yet, but I have to, I suppose. So 3 series wins, 6-3 record would put them at 39-39. Yeah, I think they have to do that. Have to. You can't go 5-4.
Nope.
Okay, enough. Enough with the 5-4, 4-5 BS.
Yeah.
Okay, just stop. Okay, stop with that. Okay. Here's some encouragement, perhaps. We talked about.
Is the show I can go to sleep? Is that the encouragement?
Well, actually, I don't think. Never mind. I think it was a day game after a day game. But I remember when they swept the Pirates, then played the Orioles at 1:20. They crushed the Orioles last year.
No, the third Pirates game, I think, was a night game.
It was. Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think it. With the way they're performing, it doesn't matter. They just have to perform.
Right, which they haven't done.
They sent Wicks home early. He's sleeping as we speak.
Okay.
Swanson somehow got a pinch hit appearance in tonight's affair.
He popped out.
Would like to see him had this great weekend where he went center and right center.
Great last
and then
weekend.
Just completely abandoned it this week.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Cubs led 2-1 heading into the ninth, and game one of this series was defeated. 4-2 heading into the ninth, almost defeated. And then 2-0 heading into the seventh, defeated. A 2-5 road trip against Cincinnati and Tampa Bay. Since everything turned and the schedule turned, and they got to face the Reds for 3, the White Sox, and Cincinnati.
What's the record?
Well, their record would have to be, let's see, 1-2, 3-2, 3-3, 3-6, 4-8 in those 12 games. So, and 2 of those 4 came against the White Sox, who may be the worst
team in the history of baseball. Do we really have to do a Farm Friday? Is that what we have to get into? No, we don't have to.
Talk about how Matt Shaw's not hitting, and maybe they could bring up Casey and send down whoever.
Well, maybe they could bring up Carl Edwards Jr.
Go out in front of 120,000 people this weekend and win all 3 games, and we'll come back Sunday night and recap it. You want to be taken seriously? And is there anybody that's going to say that? Or is Council just going to go walk in? Justin. Let me do Council's post game today. Justin threw the ball really well. He was terrific. He was really good. Mark's been awesome for us all year, but he just, it was one of those nights, not a lot of it his fault, and 2 runs ain't going to cut it. Is the steak ready and is the plane ready? And can I collect my $8 million? How about you flip a table? How about you show a little? How about, you know what? Bring me in. I'll get these guys going for free. I'll do it for free. I'll do it right now. Hey, Dansby, you're not good enough. Hey, Nico, everyone talks about how great you are. You haven't been good enough. Hey, Seiya, why don't you try and be good for like 6 weeks at a time? God, what a crazy thought that would be. Hey, Morel, tired about all this? Enough with the smiling. Get some base hits, okay? Stop hugging guys at first base. Hit the ball over the wall. Everybody in the bullpen, go to Des Moines. All right.
Well, let's come back.
Flip a table.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back. I didn't mean to point at you. Not twice, I guess, on
You
camera.
can point at me.
Let's come back and do that right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball.
Game Time.
I've used Game Time, I believe, 3 times already in 2024. Game Time makes getting tickets easier, even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guaranteed, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. The experience of searching for and then buying tickets on Game Time is simple. Plus, Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKDOWNMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKDOWNMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
On the scale of 0 to flipping a table, obviously there's a lot of variety there, but I do think that a lot of these guys are closer to 0. Than even remotely to flipping a table. And that is worrisome. And I'm not just going off of when Marquis pans to the dugout or them in the field, Sam. I'm going off their quotes. And if you want to tell me, oh, well, you can't read between the lines, well, I'm using what I have. That's what I have to work with. But on a scale of 0 to flipping a table, Sam, Council and this team is close to a 0. Dansby Swanson, I heard the audio. Sylvie played it today again on 1000. Jesse Rogers sent it into the station. It was to a reporter scrum 2 or 3 days ago. Dansby Swanson said, it's still early. It's June. That's a joke. That's reprehensible. If we're talking about 0 to flipping a table, because flipping a table, it's, and you would admit this, meatballish, but there is a wide variety there of intensity that could be necessary in a baseball season, and a lot of these guys are a zero.
Matt, I got to tell you something. And I have a
They're
lot
a
of
zero.
Matt, I got to tell you something. And I have a lot of respect for you as a business partner, as a podcast partner, as a friend. I don't give a bleep if it's meatballish anymore. When you're playing this bad of baseball for as long as they have, everything's on the table. They could lead off Gomes tomorrow, and counsel could say, everything's on the table when you stink like this. And you have continued to do the same thing over and over again every day, basically since the middle of April. It's all on the table. And I'll tell you this. We got a lot of Ricketts work to do in the offseason, but I'm going to tell you this about Ricketts.
What am I going to be, an investigative reporter?
No, I'm going to tell you this. What's the payroll? 230 this year? Is that what it is?
233 right now.
233. I got to tell you, I understand that it's not as high as some people would like.
Well, it's ninth in baseball. That's high.
But Tom Ricketts is going to go into the office at Jed Hoyer at some point here soon and say, Jed, I understand that I'm not giving you $300 million, but we got a lot more money than Milwaukee, a lot more money than St. Louis, a lot more money than Cincinnati, and a lot more money than Pittsburgh, and we're not getting results. And I'm starting to look at you. Because Tom Ricketts did not pay $230 million this year. Not that that's a huge number, but it's still a number to be 33-36. He just didn't. And if this continues, there are going to be conversations because I believe Jed has one more year left.
He does through 25.
And you don't have a lame duck baseball president of ops. You either extend them or you get rid of them.
You have a lame duck manager, maybe.
Yeah. There's going to be a situation because if they do that, then Jed's just going to try and make a heroic move and could jeopardize their future.
It's certainly possible he paid and built a bad team with that money.
Yeah, it isn't good enough. All of it. The only things right now that I feel pretty good about are Imanaga and the rest of the starting pitching and Justin Steele, who after a rocky start has been stellar. And the Cubs have lost 11 of his last 12 starts. He was stellar his last start in Cincinnati. They let him down.
Yeah, 4 in a row. He's been good.
He was stellar tonight, and they let him down again. And nobody cares about you don't know. Oh, well, pitcher wins don't matter. Whatever. He did his job. And how about Mark Leiter Jr.? How about this quote? I want to read you this quote from Leiter Jr. after the game. And I know this doesn't matter to a lot of people, but it does to me because I never hear it from any of the position players ever. I let the team down. I didn't make enough pitches. That's it. We're in the games. We've got chances to win. We all have to do our jobs. And tonight I didn't do mine, and I cost us the game. You ever heard that come out of the mouth of any of these position players? And this is a guy who I would say still overall has been a major net positive to this team since he's been in the relief situation. You know, that's accountability. That's leadership. Instead of the same $177 million ground out to the left side or the same $100+ million check swing strikeout and the same $21 million called strike 3, throw your helmet down. It is what it is. Smile. I'm rich.
Well, it's a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's just, it needs to be better. It needs to start Friday at 1:20. And on Sunday night, we need to be at the very minimum talking about a series win. I would even go as far as to say a sweep. It's time to turn it around, and it's time now.
Yeah, and I think bullpen conversation, Sam, or roster conversation, because I know that's a lot of the questions we get from listeners. And I enjoy looking at roster stuff. But quite frankly, it would be kind of like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic at this point. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you that Arias and Quas and Hodge and Palencia and Thompson are the 40-man options in the pen. I could tell you about Carl Edwards Jr. last 10 appearances. But,
fine.
But come on. I mean, come on.
Can you talk to me about Mariano Rivera? Is he around?
I think Michael Busch will. I think they should lead him off on Friday.
Yeah, I don't.
And maybe pull the names out of a hat. I think Busch should lead off.
You know what I want to happen?
Warner second.
You know what would be so crazy to me?
Yeah.
if Nick and I are on the train down to where the Airbnb is, we don't have a ton of service, and we check the score at 150, and they put up 6 in the first inning.
Not happening.
Is that possible? Can they
No
do
shot.
that?
No
Matt,
shot.
Matt,
No shot.
Matt, I've been watching baseball a long time. So have you. They've almost gone a full month without a comfortable win.
Yeah, May 15th.
This Saturday, it'll be the 1 month anniversary to the last time we could actually
anniversary.
It'll be the
1 month mark.
It'll be the last time a month since we actually could go, hey, what do you want to do on the show today? We got an easy one. We got a blowout. Matt, there isn't one position player that should finish in the top 10 of all-star voting at their respective positions.
Bellinger might.
No. The outfield?
I'm just saying.
No. Well, maybe top 10, I guess. There's only 15
top
teams.
10, I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess there's only 15 teams.
If you're giving me 10 options.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Bellinger hasn't been that bad, Sam.
Right, I know. He's been fine. I get it. He's been fine. And another diet soda, please.
Well, everybody's fine. Oh, I haven't heard that in a while. You got to bring that back.
Talkman's really strong.
Well, they're all fine players, and we're seeing the consequences of that.
Well, they're all fine players.
You don't have one major offensive threat.
And half of them aren't playing like fine players.
3.5 runs a game.
I am depressed.
What's the record since April 27th? 16-27. All right, that's going to do it.
Well, Wisdom's down to 197.
Thanks for checking out this edition.
Be nice to see PCA get a base hit.
Of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes or sometimes more like today, and we'll give
three
you
hits. 3 hits that I feel like I'm Bob Uecker from Major League.
A laugh or two along the way.
Hits.
I do think that's where our show has there's been a separator as
3 hits. Hey, 3 more hits than you and I, Matt.
Package some stuff comedically. Yeah,
I had a Subway sandwich.
Wait, am I still pitching Saturday from the bleachers?
I was eating a Jimmy John sandwich with 3 hits.
No company names. Yeah. Just all right. Am I still pitching Saturday out of the bleachers?
They're going to call you in. Ricketts needs somebody to fill up the lines at Crumble Cookie. You can get a pink sugar.
Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube as we make the push to 10,000 subs. Smash the like button for the algorithm. Leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. If this is your first time here, we do a daily show every single weekday on the Cubs, and we'll be here to recap Cubs Cardinals on Monday. If you want more of us, consider supporting by subscribing to our Unlocked podcast, where we discuss Zero Cubs. The link to subscribe to Unlocked is in this episode description. All right, we'll see if the Cubs can win the series over the rival Cardinals.
Win all 3 of them.
He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.